So how many of you are watching the Winter Olympics? Pretty good number. So as you know, they are taking place in Milan and Cortina, not far from where Francesco was born. Lago Maggiore, all right, that area. So I was on vacation a few weeks ago and was with extended family, and we were watching some of the Olympics. I was trying really hard to understand curling. I still don't have it. It's fun to watch, but I'm not sure what's going on there. So you do realize that sports nowadays, a lot of sports are kind of like worldwide, meaning you get players from all over the world. So in golf and in tennis and in basketball and soccer, just to mention a few others, I'm sure there are, but got players from all over the world, but they are then competing as individuals for themselves, like in golf or tennis, or as part of a team for that city. So what makes the Olympics different from other sporting events is the players are competing as representing their country. So then, as far as ourselves, the fans, so to speak, go, we end up kind of like rooting for the same team regardless of our interstate rivalries in football or, you know, between Cleveland and Pittsburgh and all of that. It's like we're all saying at this point, hooray for the good old USA, right? We're all together. Or in Francesco's place, he is saying what? Forza Italia. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say Viva Italia, but it's Forza, Forzas. That's how you say go, right? It's like, let's go. When we do that at sports, they say Forza, Forza Italia. Oh, one more thought. Are you the luckiest man in the world? Are you rooting for two countries? Boy, I'm putting you on the spot here. We didn't practice this. I told him he was in the homily and it would not be a Godfather reference this time. Are you rooting for the United States at all? Oh, absolutely. He had time to think about it and give the very nice answer, especially since this is going to be recorded. All right. People will come back to him. But you know what's interesting about that? Francesco's the luckiest guy because in the medal standings, Norway is first, United States second, Italy is third. He's got 2 out of 3. Wow. Lucky man, huh? Okay. Well, I think that's it for the homily today. What do you think? That was a good one, all right? So, all right, we're just getting started. Sorry. Father Tim is back. So there is always some kind of tie, a connection that binds us to our teams. The degree of investment that a person feels toward the team or the athlete can vary from not very much to very intense. And then you have other people who watch sports and they don't necessarily care who wins or loses. They're just watching, and I watch a lot of sports like this, in awe of the skill. Amazing, the skill, the strength, the endurance of the athletes. How can they make something so hard look so easy? It's amazing, right? So you can watch it from that point of view, and then you got some other people who sometimes they're just going like, I want to root for the underdog, you know, whoever's that, I root for that. Okay. So right now, the competition is in Italy, and there may well be a connection, an emotional investment that you feel toward a certain country. Why am I mentioning all this today? Well, it's not because I'm going to start with sports, then move to weather, and finish with the good news. I thought that was a good one. I just came up with that this morning. Sports, weather, and the good news. Now, that's a good one. I'm sorry. The reason I'm mentioning this is because I would like you to think about the gospel we just heard, the devil tempting Jesus in the desert, in terms of the dynamics around the Olympics that I just mentioned, okay? So let me explain. First of all, it was a battle. It was intense competition. There was great pressure. It was a battle between two titans. Maybe it was kind of more Summer Olympics than Winter Olympics because it was like wrestling in the desert. In the one corner, wearing the white trunks, hailing from out of this world and from Nazareth of Galilee, we have Jesus, the Word of truth, the Word made flesh, the Son of God made man like us all in all things but sin. And in the other corner, wearing the red trunks. Get it? Okay, sorry. Hailing from hell. I was supposed to say hailing from Nazareth the first time, I didn't. Is Satan. The most clever of spirits, highly skilled in twisting words and in distorting truths, knowing and constantly probing the weaknesses of his targets and potential victims. Designer temptations. The first temptation was designed for Jesus. If you are the Son of God. He's not going to tempt you or me with that line, right? It's like, no. It's like the Olympics in a very real sense because the whole world is involved. And are you ready for this one? It is different and similar. In this case, the divisions of nation and race and class, and even the nasty divides of political leanings and tribal loyalties in this battle are all gone. Because we're all on the same team as human beings. We're rooting for our hero, the Word of God in whose image we were all made, Jesus. So, just like the Olympics, when it starts, it's the USA. And so the Browns fans and the Steelers fans aren't Browns fans and Steelers fans anymore. They're rooting for the USA. And the Yankees fans and the Red Sox fans aren't those fans anymore. They're rooting for the USA. And Michigan and Ohio State fans aren't, well, maybe not that one. Maybe not that one, yeah. We got Ohio State. All that goes away. Did I say rooting for Jesus? I take it back because there is much more at stake than rooting. And much more even than being personally invested, where if my guy or my team loses, I'm going to be really angry or depressed. There is much more at stake. Do you realize what was at stake in this battle of titans that we just heard about? Our very lives. Our eternal happiness or misery was hanging in the balance of how this competition would go. Our chance for hope in this world and hope for the next is at stake. If Jesus lost this battle, it was not just going to be a case of, oh, that's too bad, my guy lost or my team lost. If he lost this battle, we all lost. And to pile on here, do you realize the pressure that Jesus was under with 3 temptations? It's not like baseball where Jesus got 3 pitches and he had 3 chances to get a hit. It wasn't that. All Jesus had to do was swing and miss one time, fall for the deception, fall for the sugary coated lie, and we were done. All he had to do was swing and miss once. And one more thing. You ready for this one? This 3-pitch sequence today was only round 1 in the wrestling match. As the other version of the temptation said, the devil left him for a while, which in Arnold Schwarzenegger terms sounds like this: I'll be back. I'll be back. And he was. So the stakes were unbelievably high. And then on top of all of this, Jesus' victory over Satan in the desert at that time and over temptation the rest of his life was not even his final victory. You know what all this was? All this was the qualifying round, to use a kind of Olympic and sports analogy here. Is that the right word? Qualifying round? This was just to get him to get a chance to play for the gold, which gave him a chance to participate in the ultimate match. The match that would test his physical and spiritual strength to its absolute limits of endurance, where he would have to trod the obstacle course called the way of the cross. And we know them as the 14 stations of the cross. By the way, Friday night we had the 14 stations of the cross. Do you know how many people were there? 10. I wanted to cry. Obviously, I have failed you in some ways as a pastor. So, Jesus' victory in the temptation and his victory in his suffering on the cross, in what I consider the final temptation of Christ, and not giving in to resentment, because that was his final temptation, to resent those who had committed this great injustice against him. All of this can feel distant from us, as far away as Milan is from Menor. And at this point, perhaps you are saying, okay, Father, I'll give you this, grant you this. Jesus' victory, his defeat had Olympic ramifications. I see that now. I can accept that. But our personal battle with the devil and our personal victories and losses, they only affect me. And that's not true. So yes, your battle and my battle do not have Olympic, worldwide consequences, but our losses do affect more than just me or you, us. Because our losses, when we lose in the battle with the devil and sin, it may be adding to the burden of other people. So besides other people having to carry their own struggles and burdens and stress of their life, they may have to deal with our impatience or our words or our actions that were hurtful, unloving. And even if our sin doesn't manifest itself outwardly in words and actions toward others, our sin still is going to make us less available to love and to serve. So finally, I said all this about what was at stake for Jesus and to emphasize what was at stake for us, to try and bridge that distance, between us and the cross, as a way, hopefully, for you to open your heart and express greater love, devotion, and gratitude to him as maybe understand more now about what was at stake. And to not just feel it, but to actually do something to express it, like, I don't know, attend the Stations of the Cross. Hopefully enough people will come that I will want to cry again. Not from sadness and guilt, like Friday night, but from joy.